It's the Streetview Gameshow, the funnest travelogue ever. We transform Streetview into a challenge for locals.
Oh wait, this is the marine turtle monument.
I know it, but I didn't know its name. I didn't know it was a character.
We have a great time and learn a lot in the process.
A lot of leatherback turtles nest there, and I believe it's a conservation effort.
I'm your host, Chris Magnuson with Streetview Vagabond, and today we're headed to Georgetown, the capital of Guyana, a country located on the northern coast of South America between Venezuela and Suriname. Before we start, contestants must choose the one image in this grid that is not from Georgetown, Guyana. If they choose correctly, they'll earn 50 bonus points when it is revealed.
Wait. We're putting the picture that is not from Georgetown.
Not from Georgetown.
Okay.
Or decidedly not Guyanese. Okay. Got it?
Yeah. Got it.
Look at her. One picture does not one picture does not belong to Guyana. Which one is it? Ready? And go.
Yeah.
Did they get it right? Will they get their bonus points? We'll soon find out. But first, let's meet our contestants. We have two teams representing Cross Color Records, a Guyanese label that supports, fosters, and promotes local soca, calypso, dancehall, and reggae artists such as Vanilla, Akeem Alexander, and OKC. Their music highlights a love of country.
I really love Guyana, like to the bone. It's just something within me, like I really like to celebrate my country and my people and our culture and who we are. So it's something that I have to do.
Gets people whining, and it's not what you think.
You feel the beat of the music and you just can't help to move your waist. So it's basically you're moving your waistline and it's going wrong and you're actually whining.
And highlights unique cultural traditions such as...
When it comes to breakfast, it's bread and cheese, or also, as I said in the song, tennis roll and cheese. It's the wrong bread. And sometimes some folks would make it soft, some folks would make it hard.
Okay.
Some folks would pelt you with the tennis roll, right? Parmesan, mozzarella, cheddar.
Right.
Slap on the cheese and be gone.
They're joined by Jerry, the Rhythm, a producer at Cross Color Records. Now, how will these teams approach this game?
I mean, when Akeem came in here, he was like, I'm going to beat y'all. And we were like, we played cool, We're the ones who just be cool, but very focused.
Our next competitors are Sharita and Afia from the Gold Rush Association, which stands for
Guyana's overseas and local descendants leveraging resources and unity for a successful homeland.
Guyana has the world's highest percentage of citizens living abroad, so it makes sense to consider Sharita and Afia living in New Jersey as locals. They support and sustain this diaspora through GAF, their monthly call-in podcast.
Gaffing is a Guyanese term, and it's like having conversation, banter. It's usually like, we're just making jokes here and there. So the podcast itself was a way to connect with Guyanese people in the diaspora.
They'll be competing separately, so who has the competitive edge?
I think Sharita has an advantage because she was just in Guyana.
I walk with a GPS, even in the States. I am very geographically challenged.
I guess we'll just have to play to find out.
This is the High Court.
Oh man, oh man, that is a hard call for me. I'm gonna have to look at the tape on that one.
It looks like Vanilla has the advantage.
Do you know what the statue is?
It's a woman.
Yeah, I'm giving you a lifeline here. If you any, it is Queen Victoria.
Guyana was still a British colony, right?
Right.
So to pay homage to the Queen of England, right, this monument was built in the High Court to show that this is the highest form of authority in the country, right? I mean, that was when the court was built before we were independent and all that. But now it remains there, to show it's still a symbol of, we were once a British colony and, this was once our highest form of authority. However, we're an independent nation now, but the monument remains.
A lot of countries that were previously colonies have a large population of like Caribbean people in their country. So it's very common to find Guyanese people in London, in the Netherlands, and places like this. But I think that because we're just such a proud people, like that we really stand strong in the Guyanese culture in itself, and that you will find a lot of people who are kind of anti-colonial.
During the independence movement of Guyana, they blew her face off.
What? I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've walked past this a million times.
Yes, a million times. And like, it didn't click to me that it was Queen Victoria, but
Next time you walk past her, you'll do double take. To look.
Definitely, yeah. Is this?
Mastermind.
I give it to you.
Afia got it.
Yeah, I give it to her. I knew exactly what it was. You're welcome.
Mash money.
You got it, Akeem.
I was looking for I know vanilla.
Wow.
That is vanilla. I was looking at the word and I said to myself, mash, and I did not see the image. I was so focused on the word.
We just basically celebrate the Republic on that day. It takes place in February. And I believe it's February 23rd.
Yep.
I love it because it's such a uniquely Guyanese festival because Carnival is a very Caribbean event, but Mashramani is Guyanese. And it's definitely like a nod again to our indigenous First Peoples.
Okay.
You know, like Mashramani is an indigenous word.
The word Mashramani actually means celebration after hard work. And so it's really just a celebration of all the contributions that you would have made to the country over all the years, you know.
Speaking of Mashramani, Vanilla is the 9-time Road March queen. So I figured she would have gotten this one.
Whatever.
That's it.
I saw this, you know, and I was like, this is
As the queen, you should know.
It's a parade where with different bands. People come out in costumes, people come out on the road just to view the bands, and at the end of the day, they have the winning band in different categories, and then they have the Road March Queen, which is the past couple of years, Vanilla.
Yes, I think I'm the only person in the country to ever hold a 9-time title. And I'm proud, I'm really proud of this achievement, especially by the fact that I'm a female, because in music, it is so dominated by males. And I really wanted to show other females, you know, like in the country, you know, there's a possibility of us creating change in music, and it can come from different directions. On the day of the festival that it happens, and it's the most, the song that is played the most on the road, like for the bands. So the song that's played among the bands the most times on the road would win.
And this is live bands, or is this speakers and playing your music?
It doesn't matter if it's a live band, if it's speakers, if it's a steel pan. Once the song is being played, when you pass the judges, then that's just it, you know. It's very difficult to get bands to just play your song consistently on the road when they're going down the road, you know. So yeah, it's not as easy to win as people may think.
I can imagine. And is it like every year it has to be a different song? Like, are you producing songs just for the Road March?
Yes, like one DJ said to me, the DJ from HJ, Corinne Waller, said to me, Vanilla, if there ain't nothing else, we must get a song from you for March. We always get a song from you for March. So it's just something within me, you know, like I really like to celebrate my country and my people and our culture and who we are. So it's something that like I have to do it. Even if I don't compete for the Road March, I would still do it.
Oh my gosh, this is such an honor. I've never realized that I am speaking to the 9-time Road March champion for Mashramani in Guyana. It's a feat. Congratulations, and I'm honored that you're on the show here.
2022, the Prime Minister actually came and visited New Jersey because of the dense population, and then a lot of the different ministers and government officials actually came to celebrate Mashramani with us here in the States because you know, so it's still a celebrated event whether you're in Guyana or not. But yeah. It's a beautiful festival.
Oh, this OMG.
Like,
The
it's a building.
steakhouse. It's a steakhouse.
Oh, it's OMG.
Yeah.
Yes, Sharita got it. Akeem got it.
Oh, all right.
OMG Steakhouse. Okay. So can anybody explain what Arawak means?
It's an Amerindian tribe.
Yeah.
Arawak. Yes, it's an
Yeah.
Amerindian tribe. Yeah.
Guyana has 9 indigenous tribes.
I believe we do still have some Arawak peoples, but they're more so inland. More of the villages that are, like they call it, in the bush.
I find that the culture and like just our history will always represent for our indigenous peoples. So you'll find that even in the presidential seal, you'll see an indigenous headdress. There's different landmarks that nod towards like our indigenous ancestry and just them being our first people. So yeah.
This was the menu for OMG. So I see pepper pot and bread, which my understanding is a very Guyanese dish, right?
Yeah.
Very
Especially
Guyanese.
around Christmas time.
So pepper pot is pretty much like one of Guyana's national dishes. So primarily around Christmas time, the holiday season then. We're always looking forward to pepper pot and bread. So it's a stew. It has like casserole in it. Some people just put mostly beef. You have beef, turkey.
It's an indigenous dish. And it is our national dish, as Afia said. And basically, it's actually the syrup that comes from cassava. And you squeeze out the liquid from the cassava and they kind of like process it. And essentially, it turns into this black liquid. And it's called casserole, as Afia said. What people in the diaspora do if they don't have access to casserole, they'll burn sugar and turn it into molasses. And it kind of has a similar taste. It's not quite like casserole, but it's close enough for those Christmas times when you're missing home. And
is my understanding is that you can have the meat just continually cooking over time. Some of that, it could be in there for like weeks on end. Because you just keep adding stuff to it.
No, it doesn't. It's not on the stove like for a whole month.
Okay.
It's like you reheat it. So like if we make it today, because what happens is that it goes to sleep. And when I say it goes to sleep, it's like because it made with like beef, so like the beef fat, some of it would settle at the top when it gets cold. So when it goes to sleep, then you put it back onto the stove and you allow it to boil up a little bit more, and then so that's why. So it's every day you do that. The older it gets, the better it tastes.
Do you have any idea what's the oldest pepper pot you've eaten?
A month.
A month? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't last very long in our house because we just look forward to it so much around Christmas time that it's kind of gone very quickly.
Umanayana.
Umanayana.
Oh my God.
Rita, you pulled that one. That was good. Umanayana.
I said it first.
Vanilla definitely got that one.
You said it first?
Yes, I did.
Vanilla said it
I did. I said Umanayana. I said Umanayana.
All right. So who can explain? So Vanilla. And do you know the significance of the name Umanayana?
It's a meeting place of the people, I believe. Yeah. This is like the cultural center that we have in Guyana, and a lot of people go there. Like they have like exhibitions sometimes. They have like conferences.
But the structure is called a benab.
It's one of like I said, it's related specifically to the Amerindians, and the benab it's made from palm leaves.
Okay.
And the leaves, it's because they design it in such a way that water actually kind of go through. So this is actually made from leaves. Leaves and bamboo. There's nothing else.
Just tied together.
Yes, just tied together. There's nothing else there. Like people put like ceiling and all these different zinc and all that to protect it from the rain.
Right.
It's I don't know. I too don't even understand the science behind how they do it, but that's how they build their benabs. For some reason, like to me, the science part of it is not really pointed out. You see the artistic aspect of it, but the science behind it, I think it's amazing.
Oh, the coffee statue. This is
you got it.
1763 monument.
Jerry, speak louder.
I shouldn't even have given her the matrimony one. I shouldn't have. Like,
You gave it to me. Okay.
whatever. Yeah.
Won it fair and square.
We actually rowing as to who won it.
Rowan.
What does that mean? Rowan?
Rowan means quarreling or an argument.
Got it. Okay. All right.
Row.
I have to go to the tape.
Jerry, speak louder.
Yeah, this is a monument that represents the slave rebellion that happened
Yeah,
in 1763.
right, Berbys
Right,
Rebellion.
that was led by
Coffee.
Coffee.
It actually was the largest slave rebellion that took place in the history of Guyana, right? Whereby, I mean, like Jerry just said, it was led by Coffee, and he had his generals there. I would say generals, right? Akara and Atta. And they were with him going from plantation to plantation, freeing slaves, liberating slaves, right? However, you know, it was placed to a halt. It was put to a halt. They eventually got captured and they were executed, right? But to this very day in history, it's the year 1763. We call it Berbys Slave Rebellion. Still remains to this day, you know, one of the most historic events that took place in the history of Guyana. That's why we call Berbys, you know, the ancient county.
Coffee, I believe he was a West African slave. So he led the Berbys slave revolt, led the revolt against, I believe, plantation owners. So I believe it was on the same day that Guyana became a republic, you know, several years after that. But I believe it happened on the same day in 1763.
The way they sculpted the statue, it has a lot of nods also to like just the rebellious nature of him as a rebellious leader and whatnot. So I remember one time I've heard that like the lips and, you know, his stance is indicative of the rebellious nature. I do appreciate like how centered this statue is, because it's like it really is in like kind of the center of the town. And nearby it are other landmarks as well. But yeah, you'll find people there taking pictures. I believe one of our aunts had a wedding and we took pictures there, if you remember, Afia. But
Yes, I remember.
yeah.
Starbrook Market.
Why did you talk?
You got it.
That was a cheap shot of you. Come on.
Bed Market. Stabrook Square. Stabrook. Bed Market. Stabrook Square.
I think Vanilla had that one first.
Yes.
Yes, she said Steinberg. Yes. Okay.
HBO did a series Full Circle and they shot part of it here in Guyana. We had to go down to Starbuck. So I was a part of the film set. So I remember that area like very, very clearly.
A lot of people call it like Big Market.
Bed Market.
And it's like a really identifiable like spot if you're in Georgetown, like it's a very busy city, especially in the downtown area. So if you ever get lost, like if you look up and you can find the clock, you can find your way back to like the market, all types of transportation to different parts of the country. So you're never really lost, but it is a very busy city. And yeah.
Please.
D'Amico.
No. Oh my gosh.
Okay, it's Palace, but I forgot what it. It starts with an M. cannot think of it. I believe it's a restaurant though.
Cody's Palace.
Getting closer.
I don't think it's a restaurant because I see a lady with a dress right there.
I'm stumped. It's a
I'm
restaurant. I
stumped.
know it's a restaurant. I've seen this before.
That's the time. All right. Where is it? Where is it?
All right, no takers. Here we go. Maharaja Palace.
Oh my
Ah,
God.
yes,
We are right on Sheriff Street. That's not even far from here. Oh, this is
Up the road from OMG.
Maharaja.
If this is a
True.
restaurant, I'll be shocked. I don't know. I really don't know.
I know it's a restaurant. We've passed this before.
Althea, you're so
It's on the
close.
tip of my tongue.
Oh,
Okay, I knew it. Yes, you've seen this before.
okay, yeah, she's right. She's right.
And you know why I wouldn't like place the palace on it? Because we just call it Maharaja. So because it's called the Maharaja, the palace is like not anywhere in your head, you know?
I wanted to share this in the game show too, in terms of like the really large population of Indian descent Guyanese, right? In terms of the population,
Yeah.
huge
Yeah.
population of Indian Guyanese. Okay, see, in your song, talking about all the different people in Guyana, this is a great example too.
As we kept talking about all the different people in Guyana, we ended up talking about really good food.
Guyanese Chinese food is very good. For those who don't know, like the first president of Guyana was Arthur Chung, and he was ethnically Chinese, but he was still Guyanese. And I would say Guyanese Chinese food has been is pretty popular since forever.
Yeah, one of the main Guyanese Chinese restaurants that people love is called Campbell.
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 What would you say is the difference between Chinese Guyanese food and Chinese food you get in New Jersey?
To be frank, I don't feel sick afterwards. But I think it's the fresh ingredients, because Guyana has so much agriculture and fresh food and stuff like that. So actually back in the day, Guyana was known as the breadbasket of the Caribbean because of how much food we were producing. But I also know that because of the mixed cultures, that in certain Chinese dishes we'll actually use casrip, which we mentioned before is used in pepper pot. They'll mix it up with some of the rice to give the rice more color, make it more brown. And I think that because of the usage of casrip, that is one of the distinct flavors in Guyanese Chinese food. But yeah, it's really delicious.
Also want to highlight that the logo of the Maharaja Palace was also in number on.
So yeah!
Wait a minute. I said that was a bonus point, so we'll just
I need to beat them in everything.
Okay, so nobody got that one. Okay.
It's all tied up, and 3 teams are still eligible for the bonus. The next challenge could crown a winner.
Is it Caribbean rice? That's a wild guess.
Not rice.
It's not a Chalman brand, is it? No.
Alabama flour.
Oh, Jerry got that one. Boom.
Alabama. So both of us got it wrong. The introduction thing, both of us got it wrong. He did say, Jerry said, I know it. Oh yeah, because he just right.
Oh gosh.
I was gonna tell Jerry, because when I saw the blue with the stars, I was like, this, I couldn't really recognize I wasn't related to Guyana. So he was like, no. And I was like, all right, I'm going with you to this one.
Roti, puri, pastries, parsad. Where it's a lot of this is Indian food.
Yeah, so roti is basically, it's a flatbread. I love roti because you can pair it with, curry chicken mostly.
Puri actually have split peas added to it, and that is what makes it different from the roti. So
Puri is better.
Yes.
Puri is better.
That's in your opinion. Roti, I like all two because of what I'm eating it with.
Nobody got the bonus, but since Jerry was the only one with the correct answer, we can now congratulate Vanilla and Jerry on their victory. Congratulations.
Yeah!
Oh, and that last square? That's the coat of arms of Somalia. Guyana's has sweet jaguars and a unifying message at the bottom.
One people,
One nation, one destiny.
That's more like it. Now all the squares represent Guyana. Special thanks to Vanilla, Jerry, Akeem, OKC, Afia, Sharita for playing. And thank you for watching. Be sure to check out Cross Color Records to add some sweet Guyanese sounds to your playlist and some things you can whine to. And add Gaff to your list of podcasts so you can catch up with the Guyanese diaspora. And join us for the next episode of the Streetview Gameshow, where we travel the world the way we all love to, off the beaten path and talking to locals.
You haven't lived unless you set foot in Guyana. That's all I'm saying.